Greetings to everyone who have gathered here. A very good evening and a warm welcome to everyone who has joined me in this live session, live masterclass session of today's topic. Yeah, let me tell you. The topic is really, it's going to be very, very interesting as it's all sales, it all matters. Every topic it's going to be interesting for you all. So before I start today's session, see, in life, we would have heard in many circumstances, no, especially for kids, if you say no, then immediately we need to say, actually, sometimes parents need to say that we have to bring up that is, we have to bring them up like that, because we cannot just say yes for everything. At times we have to say no means no, you're not supposed to do that, and I will not get you that. It's no, it's a big no. So objection starts from that, and it goes on in every stage of our life. We would have heard that no, you should have not done that, it's not fair, like that. A lot of no's are you would have felt it also. So how to accept this no, and how to take it forward, how we can positively take forward this no into a genuine one, or into a thing that which is really going to make you positive, or how we are going to do that. Why they say no, what is the reason why my parents are saying no for certain things, why do they object? We always retrospect things now. So in that way, what happens, sometimes we couldn't bear such a certain things, that is no. It's really, अरे मैंने इतना मेहनत किया, but फिर भी उन्होंने no बोला, मेरा assignment को reject किया, मेरा this one project को reject किया, मैं इतना कोशिश करके इतना काम किया मैंने, but फिर भी उन्होंने reject किया, no किया करके, we'll immediately have that feel that why it's happening to me, why it's happening to me alone. Everybody will feel it, you, me, everybody will say that why it's happening only to me. It's not like that. It happens to everybody. From the kid, if you take, when they started feeling that my father said no to that, my father said no to this one skating, my father said no to that one because he will not get me the video games, he will not get me that sneakers, he said no, but pata hai mere papa ne na ko bola. So what happens, that sort of feeling starts actually. But why do they say that? What is the reason which made them to say that no, why they have to do that? So that, if you think, because on the infant stage or then the kid stage, we won't realize that, well, why mama or papa are saying no for certain things. But we need to make them also understand that why the parents said no for certain things to kids. Hannah, you would have seen that, you would have experienced that. But we need to explain that also to them, that why the parents, mama or papa, they said no to certain things. Because kids also needs, why aapne kyun mana kiya? They will not cry with that reason, but they will cry because you said no. That's all. They don't know anything beyond that. But we need to say, tell them, make them understand. Once they calm down, we will tell that, या मम्मा और पापा ने क्यों ना को बोला, आपको तो रियलाइज करना है, ये तो अभी नहीं चाहिए, आप तो छोटी है. Actually, now when you grow up, we will definitely get you that. We will try to get you that, because you should understand, okay, we have to make them realize that it's a hard earned money, we cannot spend for such things just like that. You need to give value for money. Jaisa that is, as a parent, what we need to do, we have to guide them and make them understand the value for everything, that everything has got value. The same way, let us talk about, let me just give a hint for today's topic, that no, it's no. Why it is no? Why do you suddenly say no? Objections. In court and all, they say that objection overruled, or sometimes say, why did you object it? It was very nice. आपने क्यों माना किया? आपने क्यों object किया? What made you to think in that way? So we need to analyze, we need to interpret certain things. We need to, we need clarifications for many things. That when we do, see, when you are right, you will definitely ask for clarifications. If you don't know, if you are not comfortable enough in presenting certain things or knowing certain things, you will not ask for clarifications. Okay, but if you say that okay, no means no, okay, no problem, can you go like that? You cannot, because it affects your attitude, it affects your ego. Why did this person said no? What is the reason? I want to know that. I want the clarification. If there is a that is what is it? Galati mere paas hai, to I will try to clarify. I will give him the explanation so that he will come to a conclusion that why I need to reject it. So the other person will give the clarification. This is what the objection goes on everywhere. If you take in court of law, if you take from the way we have been brought up, why that been said no, why आपने क्यों मना किया, आपने क्यों रिजेक्ट किया, आपने क्यों ऑब्जेक्ट किया, जैसा ही बातें चलते रहते हैं actually, because it's all because of call no. Why we said no to certain things. Okay, in life, as we take in life, it's also happens in any field. If you say this feeling, because this objection, it's nothing but it's a feeling of what is it, an expression, or we can say that it is a disapproval. I don't like it, I dislike something, I don't like something, so I just say no for it. So you know that everybody knows this. Actually, the word no, it can be a tough pill to swallow. It's very tough pill actually. From the kids, if you take, it's very tough. No, क्यों? ऐसा ही बोलेंगे ना, क्यों ऐसे बोला, क्यों नको बोला, actually we'll start crying like that. It happens when it comes to the word no in the field of, if you take marketing and sales. Knowing your customers is good, but knowing about their behavior is not only good, it's great. Because their behavior, when they will change just like that, till the last moment they will be traveling, and then suddenly a bombardment. मैंने आपके साथ काम नहीं करना चाहती हूँ, actually I have got different options, I have got different this one thoughts. So this no, Hannah, in marketing or sales, it's like for the seller, it's very tough pill for them to swallow. For example, they may come with by saying, actually, I don't like your product. I had a very bad experience with this product, or it's very expensive for us. Now it's not a good time. Or we can imagine your frustration. So like that, what happened actually, this will keep on going. Actually, there is no end for it. Kyun no bol rahi hai actually? What is the reason? So it's too expensive, or sometimes they may say, no, it's not a good time. I had a very bad experience about the product, like that, something or the other, which make them tells that at the last moment, they will come with all sort of reasons that really hurts us. Okay. And today's topic is that, objection handling, how to reboot the sales, how to handle those objections. What is this objection? Why the customers are objecting when they travel for a long time, and at last they say that they have some objections. They have a lot of queries in their mind that they couldn't take it as such. So how can we reboot the sales? Let us see in today's masterclass session, and the topic is objection handling, rebooting sales. How to handle it. Let us go straight away. And before going into that, let me just share the screen. And here we go. So we are the Skill Edge, Sales Edge, B2B and D2C tech-driven sales, new age business development career. And we are if you want to know, I think you all know very much about us, but we are the award-winning vernacular-led skill tech and job tech platform founded by teachers and industry veterans, preparing graduates and postgraduates for new age career ready, making them day one analyst job ready in 12 to 14 weeks only. So our journey, you would have seen that 7,000 plus hours of video content already ready, 25,000 students are already skilled, 100 institutions onboarded, and 200 plus companies got connected with us. And this is our team: Mr. Rohit Ghosh, CEO and founder; Mr. Prakash Bhatna, CRO; Shailendra Maratha, he is CFO; and Sandeep Kumar is our CMO. And this is our advisory board right in front of you, you can see on the screen. And now, here, the topic for the today's masterclass session: objection handling, rebooting sales. How we are going to reboot sales. And I'm your growth mentor at Skill Edge. This is Gandhimati Balaji right in front of you. Let us go to the topic straight away. Like I have given you the introduction, objection, objection, objection anywhere. How to handle this objection? How can we just reboot it? Because anything, if the system is down, we need to reboot. In the same way, how we can reboot the sales? Objection is objection. You need to answer, give the, what is it? You need to give proof. We need some evidence that why they are objecting. We need to ask the reasons. What makes them to just say this, that they are objecting certain product at particular level, when they have crossed this much level and they say that we don't want to continue further. See, we can imagine the frustration the seller gets at that particular scenario. That is the thing, that when they say that we had bad experience with this product, it's too expensive, no, it's not a good time, like that, some or the other reason will come from the customer's side. See, at that time only we will think that frustration deepens. Why it is deepening? Because you have spent weeks or even months converting that prospective client, है ना? जितना मुश्किल करके आपने ready करके तैयार होकर, you made them to come in the funnel, you got them as leads, put them on the pipeline, they traveled, and at last, at the time when the negotiation comes, when they say all these reasons, and they, what to do? I don't want to, there is no words for it actually. It's really very tough to handle such situation. Only as a seller, if you feel that after spending weeks or even months converting a prospective client, they were ready and they were willing, but suddenly this objection to the sales offer. So it is like you at the time as a seller, you might feel like someone just ripped the carpet from under you. Just like that, move, you would be rolling on the ground, but they would have ripped the carpet. I want the carpet. जैसा ही हमारा situation इतना है, that is a level of frustration we will be having. Because as I tell this, because in this world of hard nail competition, it's all nail biting, everything will be tough like this only. Why? Competition is like that. Facing rejections are very common. You cannot say that only your company, our company is facing. It's not like that. Every company at one stage or the other, they face this rejection. Overcoming sales objections, specifically, it is very tough job actually. We cannot say it's an easier one, but what sets you apart is the way you deal. How you deal that objection, that's the $1 million question, and that's the thing that you need to handle. How you are going to handle it. That's the real task it is put in front of you. Okay, so do you give up? What will you do? Do you give up? Do you get frustrated and blame the situations? अरे मेरा तकदीर में ऐसा लिखा है, आज तक मेरा टाइम ठीक नहीं है, और जैसा आपको खुद को ब्लेम करेंगे, क्या करोगी आप? What will you do? Do you give up? Do you get frustrated and blame the situations? Do you learn and try it again? Come on, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments that how will you handle such situation? What will you do as a seller? If you are a seller, if you are joining a big organization and such a situation comes, how will you handle that situation? Do you learn and try again? Or will you be frustrated to the core and blame the situations and blame your timing and something like that? Or do you give up just like that? See, these the word no or these uncertainties, really it can demotivate and also scare the sales representatives. I accept it. It will definitely, it's a scary thing because it's a no, N-O. It is easier to dismiss these objections and move on. As a sales rep, they can also think he is also a human being. He can just like, okay, no तो means मैंने क्या करूँ यार, इतना मैंने कोशिश किया, but फिर भी वो तो मानते नहीं है, मैं क्या करूँ, छोड़कर जा सकते हैं. But can you go like that? And can I move on to the other clients and try to address them? So dodging the sales objection is an impossible task. You cannot think about it, as it is a natural part of the sales process. You cannot dodge it because it is there in the sales process itself. You have this negotiation and there may be objections. So you need to handle that. You cannot just like that leave and go to the next and start addressing them. You're not a smart person. You don't, you don't do anything diplomatically. So how to handle this? However, when we dive into it, if you dive deep into it, sales objections can benefit your sales team. Because we also try to learn as a seller, we will also know that why do they object. Next time we will see to that it will not happen. And this time itself, unhone kyun object kiya? So it is essential that the sales representatives can identify and respond to sales objections rather than quitting just like that. It's not a, what is it, professionalism. It's not professionalism in sales. Why we need to quit? If you know about yourself, if you know about your that is a company, if you know about your product, if you know about the competition, if you know about the company in and out, the product in and out, आपको तो क्यों quit करना है? Handle करो objections को. How to handle these objections? Can we handle these objections with diligence? How can we do that? How can we do that? First of all, what is this objection handling is all about? See, imagine you are you are meeting with the prospect, you are meeting with the customer. Suddenly, he is a very potential customer, and they suddenly raise a concern about the product you're selling. What is that? I told everything about the product, and now suddenly he is raising some concern. So the concern, it can be of a specific one. It can be a specific issue or something very broad. Something has happened in between, and that has really taunted the customer, and it may be a broad one, either a specific issue or a broad one, but that is a concern. So after listening, what is that you have to do? You have to listen to them first. What is that concern? What is the amount of concern? What is that he is giving, trying to give? So after listening, you respond with an answer that addresses the concern and satisfies the prospect. When will you do that? How can you satisfy the prospect? Only when you have the product knowledge. When you know the A to Z of what is happening in the market, you can say. So at that point, you resume, you start your sales conversation and continue moving the deal towards a potential close that my customer will accept it. He will take back the word of objection and he will accept our offer. It's very difficult, but if as a sales representative, if you can do, you need to have all those background information ready. That is why I used to say in sales, research is very important, guys. Very, 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 very important. You cannot escape from it. Lot of research about the company you work, research about the company you're going to offer the product, research about the competitor, research about the market. Only when you do research, when you understand spontaneity. Last masterclass session, I was talking about the sales communication. Your communication will be very spontaneous and very effective when it can be one and only when you are thorough, when you have the knowledge about the product, the customers, the company you work, the competitors, the market. Again and again, I'm repeating, please keep it in mind. Sometimes you might have to pause your sales. You need to have, that is sometimes it happens. Pause your sales, call more than once to address your prospects' concerns. You have to call them again and again because it's an objection. You cannot take it as such. How come he will object it? You will get gussa aati hai na aapko. For example, if your parents are saying that they will not give pocket money, jitna gussa no bolenge to immediately what will you have? Arey, kyun? रोज देते ना मामा 100 रुपए का आज क्यों मना कर रही है पापा क्यों कर रही है you will ask na. So these are maybe this may think this one why they say no, what is the reason? Sometimes we need to take a pause. You have to take a pause of this and you have to try to make the calls. In sales or it happens a lot, you need to call them that why did you object it. It can be somewhat frustrating, but if you are prepared to address common sales objections, you can keep the dialogue flowing as smoothly as possible. For any questions asked by the customer, you can answer immediately. When you know that what you sell, when you know who you are, when you know about the company, definitely you can answer with confidence. It can, what is that, this establishing this trust, or this particular thing, it brings what? Confidentially you can address a buyer's concern, and you can establish or help establish the trust, which can go a long way towards earning new or expanded business. Really, because you are thorough. You know what you do. No need to worry about anything. To whom you need to worry? Because you know the answer. For any sort of objection questions, you know the answer. Why do you need to worry? Because you have confidence, and you address and you establish a trust in front of the customers. So this objection handling is an act of responding, and you are addressing your prospects' hesitations and concerns to move them forward in the sales pipeline. You have to make them hold their hand and carry, that is what is a journey with them in the sales pipeline. The best objection handlers take time, ask questions, and learn about the nature of the objection before responding with a rebuttal. That is, how can I close the sale? How can I close the sale? Don't think about closing the sale. Think about handling the objections made by the customer. If you could answer all their questions, automatically your sales will get rebooted. That customer will not go. But if you don't know, if you hesitate, or if you simply say only yes or no, then there may be a problem. You didn't address their concern or their specific or broad issue properly. Anna, correct or not? Yes. So not only it will not only provide you with the best intel for crafting a response, but the hard conversation also improves the relationship between the buyer and the seller. Because when you converse with them, isko to pata hai, sabko answer pata hai, he knows everything, he has got product knowledge, he's the right person. Whenever there is any problem, I can approach this person. Okay, there may be a chance of rebuttal. And that trust, those who are gathered here, and that particular trust can melt these objections. Definitely. It will melt. That is like how the ice cube melts very fast. The way you know the answer, the way you can handle all the objections will be vanished. That particular trust, once when you have that conversation, which improves the relationship between the buyer and the seller, it automatically melts. The trust between them, it melts objections. You need to understand that how to overcome this sales objections to win the prospects. First of all, we need to be a good listener. I always tell my learners, a good listener and a learner will always be a successful person. Learn a lot, that's reading books. You will get knowledge. Knowledge is power. Listen to what they say, and then you start answering one by one. Don't keep on rehearsing that what you want to say. Listen and then answer. The same thing in objection handling also. Do not overlook your prospects' problems just to sell your product. I want to sell, I want to sell, I want to sell. Jaisa hi sochenge to what happens? Okay, this person is mere this one bookie, like he wants to advertise and he wants to sell the product. So listen to their problems, understand their needs. Usko to kya zarurat hai? And then speak about how your product can solve the problems. Then you can tell that how your product is going to solve the problems. Number 2, support your prospect. You must agree with their problem. First of all, what is that we need to do? We need to agree that, okay, ye jo problem hai, yeah, sir, I can also understand. Because we need to be empathetic. We also know about our product. Sometimes we need to understand the feelings of others. Jaisa hi hai aapka jo customers ka jo hai na, what is that? Uska jo problem hai hamara product ke upar, you need to understand it. This does not mean that you have to go against your product or support your competitor. I'm not telling that you need to support your competitor. All you need to do is agree with them and then explain to them how your product can solve the solution. आप कैसे दवाई देते हैं? Actually, you have to tell that by comparing with the competitors. Number 3, ask broad questions. Do not simply say, as I told you, do not simply say if the customer is telling the problem, if there are some objections, you should not simply say, yes, sir, ना करके ऐसा मत बोलो. You need to give explanations. See, asking broader questions would help you overcome objections. Sir, is that every time when you use the product, you have this, or only at that particular time when that machine runs, you are having the problem? Like that, we need to pose some questions. Then only that interest will also be generated by at the customer's end. If you simply don't ask any questions and if you say ha or na, does it make any sense? No. So when your prospect starts stepping back, engaging them diplomatically, you have to handle with care. Like जैसा शीशे है ना, how you need to handle with care. ऐसा drop करेंगे तो टूटेंगे तो टुकड़ा टुकड़ा हो जाएगा. जैसा ही है sales में भी objections handling भी. Handle them with diplomacy. It would definitely help you in continuing the conversation. You need to continue with the conversation. That's more important. Give similar examples also. Show your prospect cases of other existing clients. As I already used to tell you. Always, like you need to show some cases, you need to show some reviews. Customer जो customer आपके पास थे ना, उसका feedback जो है ना, you can show them. Give some examples that you have handled such a problem, similar problem with one of your customers, those were there with you, and how your product changed their life. This will help you to build the trust, and also you can overcome the objections. And sometimes the next important thing is you can also predict the sales objections. Sometimes you can try to anticipate, okay, this may be the problem. Okay, let me just see what is that he's asking. Like that also sometimes it happens. You can try to anticipate your prospects' objections, and you need to prepare with the answers for the same. If you know that, you have to prepare the answers for the same in advance. It will definitely help you to deal with any expected objections like this, and you can answer to them without any problem, without any hesitation. So know your competitors. That's more important. As I told you, research well about your competitors to know what benefit are they offering, what are the benefits they are offering, and what their weaknesses are. See, they are offering this benefit, sir. They may be looking cheap, but now see, our price is more when compared to them. Why it is? It's going to be tough time for them when the inflation comes, at the time when the economy is down, at the time this particular competitor who was giving in a cheap rate, it will not work out. You have to make them understand in such a way that that's going to be the weakness. Very soon it's going to be the weakness for them, but we are creating it as a strength for you. This is a strength. Try to use their weaknesses to your advantage. In that case, when you know your competitors, you can certainly do this. Fix up a certain date and time. When your prospects say that they will get back to you, that's I don't like this term even. If you go to interview, we will get back to you. Sir, when can we ask? No, we will get back to you. A lot of other persons are on the queue, so let me just interview them, and then let me know you. Let me tell you that what is next. But can we just leave it like that in sales? When your prospects say that they will get back to you till they travel these many days and weeks and months, after that they say that we will come back to you. Tell them to fix up a specific date and time when you can follow up. Sir, I can understand that, but when can we follow up? Can you just give me the exact date? So this is the best way you can overcome such objections. Because if you just like that, okay, leave it. Okay, we'll get back to you, and you didn't call, months over, weeks over, months over. Can you just leave a customer just like that? Because it may be only a petty issue, but you didn't address. It's gone, na? So aapko to kya karna hai? Fix up a certain date and time. Follow up. Don't leave just like that. You are not making the first call. They are already traveled with you, and now they are showing some objection, and they say that we will get back to you, please give us some time. Sir, when, sir? When can I call you? Can you just give me the specific date and time that we can follow you up? So this is the best way, my dears. This is the best way you can overcome such objections. So, okay, he's also keen in addressing our objections. Jaisa customer searching. So why it is important? All these points you don't forget actually, because these are the main tips which I can give you for handling this key steps actually. Main or key steps which you need to understand to overcome the sales objections and also win the prospects. First of all, be a good listener. Secondly, support your prospect. Third, ask broad questions. Don't say simply yes or no. Broad questions. Pucho. Then give similar examples. Show some reviews. Show some feedback which you have from the already existing customers where you handle the same sort of problem, address the same sort of problem. You can show that. The sales objections. So you know that certain objections may come at that time, how you need to answer. So when you know already the answer, when you know that how you handle, it's very good, na? Handling objections, expected objections. You know how to deal, how good it is. Then know your competitors. That's more important. As I told you, research. Competitors ko research karenge to aapko jo sab answers, it will be in your fingertips. Because their weaknesses may be your advantage. And then fix up a certain date and time immediately. Turant kar lo. Jaisa no karenge to come on, don't leave like that. You just try to fix an appointment with your customer. That said, when can we follow up? Why are you saying this? Actually, we just want to talk to you so that you can fix up the date and time, and then you can try to solve the issues, handle such objections. Why we say this objection handling is so important? Is it that important? Is it that very significant? See, why it is important is because building relationship with prospects. You need to establish yourself as a knowledgeable partner who can help solve their problem. Customers ko wo log kya chahte hain? Once a product has come, they want that somebody should give a very good after sales service, and I can rely on the seller because he has convinced me in such a way to purchase the product. When he knows this much of information about the product, definitely the customer will have that sort of happy, that happiness, that bond. They really want to they want them to stay throughout, because they need a knowledgeable partner who can solve their problem. It also helps the salespeople to determine whether they are working with the right person, or if a real opportunity even exists. Will this seller can come and solve the problem? Like that, they need some sort of satisfaction. So easily this objection handling is very important, because they trust with the person and that relationship has been built already actually. So in that case, they don't want to break it. Many sales representatives, if you take, they can attest to the fact that a vast majority of sales calls are met with at least one sales objection. Daily, they make so many calls, at least one or two objections will be there. By overcoming sales objections, the entire sales team can sway the opinions of prospective buyers who are on the fence about the product and service, whether to get it or not. They dial a more, everything you can answer. So a majority of the most common sales objections can be solved with common sales objective responses, because we sometimes know that what's going to be the objection. So when we are ready with the answers, when you know that how you want to proceed the conversation, you can very well do so. But for that, aapko to kya chahiye? Knowledge chahiye. That knowledge will come only when you immerse, when you dive into the product, when you know about the company, when you know about the competitor, when you know about the market, etc. and etc. With no sales objections, prospective customers will feel they have no reason not to invest in your product or service. So handling sales objection comes with a certain degree of urgency. Failing to address, if you fail to address those sales objections, it is one of the biggest threats to closing deals. Because when you can cross all the sales process, negotiation tak aayenge na, like I told you, that is when we have the 100 prospects, 100 suspects, 50 prospects, 35 leads, 15 proposals. 15 proposals में आपको 5 negotiation में आया, and then you have only 2 left for closing the deal. Why the others left your product? We need to retrospect. They came up to negotiation. They traveled this long in the sales funnel. Then at last they move. Why they didn't travel with us in the pipeline? What happened? कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ है, क्या हो गया हमारा प्रोडक्ट को? You need to ask them. You need to try to solve the problem, that why they moved out from that particular stage. So if buyers continue to hold on their objection through the final stages, that objection will increase in its concern, which makes it difficult to solve. If you are failing to address the sales objections, it is one of the biggest threats in closing the deals. If you are not handling the objections properly, keep it in mind. Only when you handle the objections properly, you can think about releasing the purchase order, and you can think about getting the money and close the deal. So how to overcome the sales objections? Let us see that. First of all, before going into how to handle types of objections of sales, there are a lot of types actually. Variety of objections will come. What are those varieties? What are the types of objections in sales? Because lack of need. No, I don't need. See, businesses, we know that they must be very selective in making purchases. So prospects will not buy the product or service if they don't believe they need it. Why we need it at the time? We don't want means they will say we don't want now. So this type of sales objection, it grants the opportunity for sales representatives to learn about the current issues that what their company need to address. So sales representatives, they have to provide information on what components of their products will resolve their problems. They need to see which part of the product is going to solve the customer's problem. So lack of need, gone. One type is over. Then next is lack of budget. These type of objection also will come from the customer. Abhi to budget nahi hai hamare par. Almost every sales also, it concludes the types of this type of sales objection. अरे budget के ऊपर नहीं है यार, हम लोग सोचेंगे बाद में करेंगे ना, हम लोग कहाँ जाएंगे, come on, let us do in the next year. No. So prospects must be confident with the price they are paying, because every purchase, it assumes potential financial burden. They are also under financial burden, and we should also think about it, because it should not affect our company's budget also. Because being a seller, you cannot keep on giving discounts and prices and all reductions. You cannot give any time. No, it's like that. For them, if it is budget, for them also it values financial burden. So instead of selling the product or services price or lowering it, sales representative, what they can do, they can respond to these type of sales objections by selling the product or service value. So they need to do what we can do. How does that they can do? I will tell you how to handle these type of objections. Okay, one by one, let us do it. Then I'm just briefing it now. The types of objections you may get it. Okay, need ka over, budget ka over. Then priority. So this type of sales objection, it is either used because the prospect does not have time, because that is for your product, it's a primary concern. It may be his primary concern. So sales rep, they should use this sales objection to gain information about where their priorities currently lie. वो कहाँ ढूंढते हैं, क्यों प्रायोरिटी नहीं कर रहे, एक्चुअली हमारा प्रोडक्ट क्यों प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट में नहीं है, उसका प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट में हमारा प्रोडक्ट क्यों नहीं है. If they can fit in there, they have to try. Sales representatives should try to fit in their product or service. If the issue appears to be only time related, best option is to schedule the follow-up call whenever they are available, because I told you the ideal time also 3 to 5 weekdays. Tuesday and Thursdays are very, very ideal time. At the time, if you call them and follow up, what is the need, what is that we can do for it, when they are available, we can try to look into their priority. So need over, budget over, types of objections mein? Lack of need, lack of budget, lack of priority, lack of trust. Buyers will usually prefer doing business with those who are already familiar. I know them, wo mera banda hai actually. Like that, they will think. It happens actually in selling, in marketing, it happens a lot. They really want to be very comfortable with customers. So actually what happened, they prefer the business with where they are already familiar with, or we are familiar with them, so we just want to continue. So this means what the sales representatives, they have to take sales calls this as an opportunity to familiarize their prospect with both. You have to do a lot of homework. You have to do presentations in front of them about your company, about your product. You have to make them understand that how you are doing. आपको जो customers को reviews बताना है, customers का जो feedback है अभी वो भी बताना है, because you have to make them that customer who feels that he is very much familiar with those persons whom he is already working. उसको तो आप नया डालेंगे तो they will definitely think, anybody will think, you and me will also think like that. So additionally, what they have to do, the sales, this type of sales objections, it calls for the sales representative to sell the company's positioning in the market. They have to position their company in the market first of all, then only customers will know that okay, they are also familiar. So why can't I just go for a change? They will also think about the change. If they don't position themselves in the market, customers will not go to the new one. नया है तो उसको माइंड में है तो नया है, that's all. So sales representatives have to do some homework on positioning their product and their company in the market. Competition interference. So competition, we know that it's because that's going to sway a buyer's opinion before sales representatives makes the call. If a prospect makes a sales objection that mentions a competitor, if he says that अरे आपका जो competitor है वो तो इसमें दे रही है, budget में दे रही है, free cost दे रही है, that is delivery charges नहीं है, transportation charges को मना, that is no need किया, आपने कुछ नहीं कर रही है हमको, you're not doing anything for us. So it is because they are likely deciding between your company and the rivals. Customers know where to touch your pain point. पता है seller का जो pain point कहाँ है, हमारा जो rivals, हमारा जो competitors, they will touch that. यारे आपका जो competitor दे रही है, आप क्यों नहीं दे रही है भाई? This should alert the sales representative to shift their focus of the prospecting call on how your product is superior to the competitors. यार उन्होंने दे रही है, but हमारा जो product में जो है ना, for example, they are giving only white powder. But when we add that small granules type of things, which will give more foam, lather will be more. When you use it, it is very plain. But when you use our product, it is more leathery, it is more foamy. It will, you will can whole day, whole week, you will have that fragrance in your clothes. Like that, kuch na kuch bolna hai so that you are superior when compared to the competitors. What is that you can say for your product to your customers, comparing with your competitors? It's all aapka muh ka jadoo. ऐसा ही बोलना है, because you have that, you have the proof. You can say that competition interference. If the customers are interfering with the competitors, you can say that. That's what we call this as BANT, B-A-N-T, budget. Demonstrate the unique value of your product. What is the unique value of your product? Because it's not, because they ask about the budget ke upar nahi hai. Then you have to explain about what? You have to explain about the unique value of your product. Generally, budget ke upar kya aate actually? We just don't have the budget, Baba. Budget ke upar nahi. We just don't have the budget in which your product is. This will be the common objection. So for many sales professionals, the knee-jerk reaction is to immediately offer a low price. Never do that. Immediately what we do, oh my God, budget ke upar baat kar rahi hai, humko to kya karna hai? Seller immediately, okay, knee-jerk. जैसा डरेंगे, अरे मैं लूज करेंगे तो क्या करूं यार, come on, let us give discount, let us give some lower price. See, instead of offering up a fast discount or flat discount, It is always risky. Please remember, it is always risky, and it raises questions about the value of your product. It is a question for the value of your product. Why, when I asked, he's suddenly giving discount? अरे so और भी कम कर सकते हैं. You would have seen in the roadside vendors and all. They will start from 300. We will end up with 50 rupees. They will give at last. What is here? The quality is that much only. That's all. We will also know about what will be the quality. We know that it will come for a day or two. Same thing. When you ask and suddenly they gave the discount, they give for the lower price. Look for some creative ways to show the unique value of your product or service. Just like that, because they talk about we just don't have the budget, you also don't give this lower price or discount. Think about it. Think something creative that where you can show the unique value of your product or service. How to overcome this budget type of objection? Demonstrate. Show the demonstration that how it works. Like in advertisements, they show na aerial bhi show karenge aur dusra bhi show karenge. Jitna ganda dalo, kitna whatever coffee, sauce, sab kuch dalenge, and then you can see the brighter part. Like that, you have to talk. Demonstrate the unique value of your product. Give a lot of examples of how the product has solved the problem for the customer. Try to give some examples. Customers jo rehte na, aapko definitely will have a lot of customers. What is their inputs, what is their feedback? Try to demonstrate in front of your customers, those who talk about and those who say that we just don't have the budget. You need to handle this type of objection like this. Demonstrate the unique value of your product and give specific examples, not general ones. Specifically give examples of how the product will solve the problem of the customer. Dusra, B bant mein B ho gaya. Now, ye authority right in front of you. I need to consult with X. I need to consult with Mr. So and so person. What is this authority? I need to consult or discuss with my boss. I need to consult with my manager who says, no, thank you. This is also an objection. It seems like a dismissal when a customer states that they need to consult with their boss. Arey, itna din kya kiya apne? तुरंत अभी तो आपको तो अथॉरिटी लग गया, like your boss and your manager only has to take a decision. क्यों इतना देर? Actually, why do you take this much of time? There is something. It's a sort of dismissal type. When a customer states that they need to consult with their boss before making a decision, or that another decision-making authority has already rejected your product or service. How to handle this? Any suggestions? I need to consult with my boss, my manager. How will you handle this objection? Budget को कैसे handle करना है पता है आपको. Now authority. I need to consult with such and such person, boss or manager. How will you handle this? Always, how we need to handle or overcome this particular objection is, you need to respect their position. Because we need to understand that their position, okay, usko to consult karna hai. Are kyun zara sa jagda nahi kar sakte na? If they want to consult, they have to consult. But look at this objection as an opportunity to get other decision makers in the room. Bring them, everybody. Those who think that a manager or that boss who is objecting, is bring them also to the room and identify any underlying concern and address the specific issue, rather than agreeing to wait for a phone call or keep the process moving to setting up a joint meeting with both parties, or transitioning the sale to the final decision maker altogether. So we need to accept it. We need to respect their position. But at the same time, what we need to do, if you can address it, you can bring all the decision makers in one room and try to give and try to solve the specific issue at their end. Because when they say that I have the authority, somebody is having the authority to take the decision, come on, bring those decision maker to the room. Address all the issues, specific issues which they have with your product. This is authority. when they say that I need to consult with Mr. So and so, or that is the boss or the manager, you can address like this. Then N, bant mein N. B ho gaya, budget ho gaya, A authority ho gaya, now N. I am happy with my current setup. You would have heard this very often. I am very happy with my current setup. See, remember that this complacency is often a result of being ill-informed about a problem or opportunity. So if the prospect, if the potential customer seems very complacent, you will need to take the extra time to describe the problem or the opportunity in depth. Because when they say that I am happy with the current setup, you need to take some time, because immediately you cannot make the customer understand that, okay, ours is best. You cannot do that. But how to overcome this objection? How you can overcome this particular objection? That is when they say that when it comes to need, I am happy with my current setup. See, what you can do, you can bring up examples. Same thing. You can bring up some case studies about their competitors. That once what happened, our competitor was handling like this, and you can try to tell them. That is, we know that how we need to stretch. We are not going to tell something faltu ka statement that is or wrong something, but thoda to stretch karne ke batayenge to they will also understand. So if you can bring up some examples or some case studies or some instances about their competitors, that is the customers' competitors, who have made some recent changes similar to the one you are suggesting. So fear of change is actually a natural reaction. Everybody, अरे मुझे तो अभी तो ठीक चल रहा है ना, क्यों मुझे change करना है, वैसे ही सोच रही हूँ मैं, इसीलिए मैंने reject कर रही हूँ, object कर रही हूँ करके, everybody will tell that. It's a natural reaction. So you will need to calm the customer's concern by showing only one thing you can do, showing examples of positive change. Like what your customers, competitors are doing, the person whom you are having in touch with already, same thing only we also do. So examples, these are all the showing examples of a positive change with the client's industry to provide a boost of confidence. This will definitely boost their confidence. Okay, usko bhi dekhna actually. He is also trying to say something. Let me see that what is the change he is bringing in. Overcoming the objections, you can try to do that. And then finally, timeliness. BANT, budget ho gaya, authority ho gaya, need ho gaya, and then now timeliness. We are too busy right now. This also you would have heard. You have likely heard this in, for example, contact me in few months when we have more budget. This will happen. This objection happens particularly around the holiday season. This will, because holiday season jo hai na, like they will be in hurry burry and they will say that that definitely this tune you would have heard. See, contact me in a few months because when we have more budget, I will try to come back to you. So in this scenario, you make it so compelling for them to buy right now that they feel as they will truly regret passing up the opportunity. So how you can handle this timeliness, this one, how you can handle this? We are too busy right now. How will you handle if they say like that? Make it clear that waiting until the first of the year will mean missing out on a great opportunity, as you know very well. So before jumping into the conversation, be sure to clarify with the customer if you are simply calling it a bad time, or if there is an actual business problem overloading them. If it is a bad time, find out better time to call. If it is a business problem, that gives you the information you need to show how your product will make the customer's life easier. दो options बचा हुआ है आपको. T में timeliness. When they talk about time, अभी नहीं है, बाद में देखेंगे. What you have to do? If it is really a bad time, if they don't want to do now, if it is really overloading them, we have to see that. Be sure and clarify from the customer what part. Timeliness means where they are going lacking behind. Or if it is a business problem, come on, you have to give all the information they need to show that your product is superior. Your product will make the customer's life very easier. Band ke aage value bhi hai. I need to think about it. After hearing everything, they will say one thing. I need to think about it, Baba. So the objection is it's a combination of budget, authority, need, and timeliness. If the customer doesn't see the value in the product, then it shows a lack of trust or certainty in what you are offering. Here, you will need to build what? Credibility with the buyer. That's more important. That is what value is all about. When they say, I need to think about it, whatever it is, the objection, it will come in case of budget, band, B, budget, authority, A, need, N, timeliness, T. But if the customer doesn't see the value in the product, then it shows lack of trust or certainty in what you are after. That is some gadwad hai seller ke upar. Here you will need to build the credibility with the buyer. That's more important. That is called value. How to handle this objection? When they say that value, trust is critical in healthy business, my dears. Trust is very, very critical in healthy business relationship. Selling value also requires that you quickly demonstrate to the customer you can be trusted. It breaks down 3 elements. Please keep it in mind. It breaks down 3 elements. What is that? Capability, integrity, and benevolence. What is that? Capability. Do you know what you are talking about? And are you really able to help solve their problems? If you can, talk about the value. That's more important. Before, when I say that capability, integrity, and benevolence, you need to keep in mind and make sure to bring forward in your customers' interactions about all these things. Capability. Do you know what you're talking about? Can you really able to help solve the problems? Just jaisa statement mat bolo like for the time you need the customer, then after that you leave them. That should not be there. So do you know what you are talking? And are you really able to help solve the problem? Dusra jo hai integrity. Do you do the right thing, especially under pressure? Or are you doing the right thing? Third, benevolence. Do you have the customers back? And do you genuinely want to help them? That's more important. Because as a sales professional, it is absolutely necessary to understand and be prepared for the most common sales objections. Knowing every detail and every feature of the product or service is significant. But getting into the true core of the customer's objections is equally crucial. Remember that. I repeat, knowing every detail and every feature of your product or service is very, very, very important. I stress it more. But getting into true core of the customer's objection, why, is equally crucial. Respectfully ask your buyer open-ended questions that probe deeper into what's behind their objection. What is that behind their mind? That why do they object? You may get the answer immediately. So with an understanding of your customers, zarurat and jo unhone chahte hain, and your products offerings, you can work on overcoming this sales objections based on budget, authority, need, time, and value right in front of you. Hope this makes sense, right? Right. Above all, you should also remember that your goal is to convince the potential buyer that they can't or they shouldn't live without your product or service. You have to convince your potential buyer that they can't or they cannot. My goodness, I want only company A's product. The art of sales, my dears, it is art of sales is inherently associated with objections. Because always when you're happy also it will not be nice, because sometimes some problem comes and when you handle, you feel like wow, I have also handled certain situations. We'll be happy, no? It's an art. But most can be overcome by building a sense of credibility, trust, and reframing the way your buyer sees what you are selling. When it comes down to when it comes down to it, sales is about showing your product or service at the angle that is best suited to conversation. You should understand, then only you can speak, right? You can speak about the product. That's more important in BANT. That is what the way you need to, these are the types and the ways you need to handle the objections. BANT, B, value, BANT, value, budget, authority, need, timeliness, and then value. So generally, if you take, what is that? I'm going to show you now the 15 most common sales objections. It's too expensive. I can get a cheaper version somewhere else. I'm telling you all this to keep it in mind. They may ask you in interview also that what do you think as the common sales objections you may get from the customer? Immediate thing, it's too expensive. I can get a cheaper version somewhere else also. Those persons, Apple is providing, Samsung is providing, like that. They make comparisons. I will talk to my team and get back to you. I told you that how to handle also these situations you would have faced. I am satisfied with the competitor. I am not authorized to make the decision. Your product is too complicated. I am not ready for the buyer conversation. How did you get my information? I don't know you. Call me back next quarter. I don't have the requirement for this product. We only work with the people we know. I had a bad experience with the product before. We can't invest in the product now, budget. That's fine. But I have heard rumors about your company. Does your product offers X, Y, or Z points? Are you offering this, that? They will ask some series of questions. So kya hona hai actually? You need to be very much clear with what and you need to answer all those also genuinely. So these are the 15 most common sales objections I have picked and presenting in front of you. This may happen, and I told you how to handle also with grace. Credibility matters. Now, as I told you that how to handle, how to overcome the sales objections right in front of you. These are the 4-step approach to overcome the sales objections. See, sales rebuttals or responses to common objections that help make a prospect more comfortable with your offering in an effort to what? Close. That's all. Typically, salespeople construct their rebuttals using the layer method, LAER, right in front of you, right in the screen, which is there. Listen, acknowledge, explore, and reboot. The best sales rebuttals are often pre-planned based on common objections. And salespeople here listen fully to the objection. Because halfway if you listen and halfway if you answer, it will not be. So listen fully. What is that they are objecting? Don't react defensively. अरे मेरा product को आपने ऐसा किया, ऐसा गुज़ा नहीं कर सकते है ना? So take the time to listen the objections fully. कान खोलकर सुनना. Train yourself to ignore any negative emotions. Don't start crying. Don't show your feeling immediately. Don't show your negative emotions or you may be feeling at that time. Stay focused on what the buyer is saying and the business problem you are helping to solve. Focus on and you keep on thinking about how we can solve this problem. Listen with the intent of fully understanding the buyer's concern without bias or anticipation. That's more important. Allow your body language and verbal communications to communicate to the buyer that you are listening intently. When you are listening, don't keep your, I told you that you should not keep your arms like this. In that way, if you're doing, you are rehearsing something to answer them. If you're listening, please be cool. Just look into their eyes. That is suffice. That is a perfect body language for listening. Keep it in mind. Looking into their eyes. In between, just asking that some questions. Yes, it's not only yes, giving in a sentence also. Understanding the objection completely. Understand. Listen is over. Now you need to understand. See, many objections, they hide the issues that the buyer can't or they are not ready to articulate. So what is that we can do? You can ask permission from the buyer to understand and explore the issue. For example, even after the buyer confirms you understand perfectly, ask what else you can do and why questions. What and why are very, very important questions for clarification. Please remember that. It's a very, very what and why. These two type of questions are very, very important for clarifications. Clarification questions, I can say. Because you need to understand the objection completely. Often it's the answer to that last, what else, that contains the biggest objection you need to overcome to move the sales forward. So listen over, understand over. Then thirdly, respond properly. After you are confident, you have you have uncovered all objections, address the most important objection first. Because there will be series of objections, there will be list of objections which the customer will gives. But you need to take that very, very important objections, usko jo chahte hain, like what is that they think maximum, that you need to take first. Once you work through the greatest barrier to move forward, other concerns may no longer matter as much to the buyer. Okay, you have solved this. I don't want anything. It's enough. Rest of the thing you can do it. It's like it will go out. So long-winded responses can seem insincere too. So keep your responses clear and to the point. Do blah 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 karke jitna lambi baat mat karo. What is that you want to give? Give the response in a clear tone and to the point you speak. Don't start with the history of the incident, geography of the accident, chemistry of such things. Okay, just for fun. But don't do that. Nobody is having the time to listen to your lambi baat. So long-winded responses can seem insincere too. So in that case, you keep your responses very, very clear and also to the point. Confirm you have satisfied the objection. Once you have responded to the buyer's objections, check if you have satisfied with all their concerns. Just because they nodded during your response, they will be nodding like this. Okay, karke aisa nod karenge na. You don't take it as a positive one. Ask if the buyer is really happy with everything you said. Sir, what is that? Hope this helps. What is that I said helps? Do you really follow that what I'm saying? That so that try to confirm it. Ask if the buyer is very happy with your solution and the explanation which you have given is going to solve their problem. Sometimes you need to go through a process to overcome sales objections rather than a quick answer or a ha moment. Aisa nahi hai. If the buyer isn't ready, don't try to force a commitment. Be sure not to accept a lukewarm yes. Yes, okay, let me see. Yes will also not be there. No also will not be there. You know that there is a nod and generally they will say Japanese means they used to nod like this for yes. And for no, they will nod like this clearly. But you know how they dub Indians, they say that just for fun's sake, don't take it to the aspect, okay, into the chapter. Indian nod, they say that, yes, okay, but whether it is yes or no, also we will get the doubt. So that is what I'm saying, that if the buyer isn't ready, don't try to force a commitment. Be sure not to accept a that's what I said, lukewarm, yes. Yes, okay, let me see. I'll try to, okay, yes. Okay, yes will not do anything. Clear as we need. Many buyers will accept a solution at that particular moment. हाँ, ये तो अच्छा है. They will try to accept the solution at that particular moment. But once you are out of sight or off the phone, the objection still remains. That should not happen. Objection for them, it's always objection. At that particular moment, you will feel that, अरे उन्होंने सुना, उन्होंने actually they are ready to accept. He is very happy करके कुछ ना कुछ सोचेंगे. But you need to clearly understand the entire scenario. The objection still remains. At that moment, they may be happy, but once it is you are out of sight, you are out of the call, they will also take it. Okay. Object kiye na, what is that I did is did. They may think like that. The 4 P's of handling objections. Never forget this, the 4 P's. What are the 4 P's of handling the objections? Personalization, perceived value, performance value, and proof. Personalization. It means what? What do you mean by personalization? It means customizing the message based on the consumer's need and style. One minute. So let's understand more clearly that the concept from an example which I'm going to give now. Let me just clear your concept. Personalization ka matlab kya hai? See, the sales representative, he listens to the customer regarding their requirements to include a thank you note while delivering the product. Still, at the time of delivery, the sales representative ignores this aspect, and as a result, the product gets returned to him. Because personalization is very, very essential to reduce the psychological distance between the customer and the seller. Because the message now, that's more important. It reflects the buyer's needs and can help in the customization of the message. Number 2, perceived value. It builds the anticipation and raises the expectations of the buyer. Or if you want me to say in a simpler word, simpler term, the sales representative provide the opportunity to the customer to put their step forward through sales objections. So perceived value. Like what you can say, if your package arrives clean and also it's very professional, the customer will always be in awe. Oh my God, what a packing, yeah. Awe of it. It makes the customer feel good about their decision. So personalization, that perceived value, and then performance value. Just as perceived value excites the customer with regard to packing and clean, nothing tuta puta kuch nahi hai. Performance value satisfy the customer. Like it is the value that your product or services do to the customer. For example, that we have the Swiggy and Zomato, which the delivery will be in 10 minutes. If it will be 10 minutes means exact 10 minutes. If your products clean the house within 10 minutes, fine, good. Demonstrate and present the same to the customer. Give them the trial run to understand the product and know about the quality too. We can give a trial, give example, sample this one. Performance value. That's also a credit. Finally, proof. Could you show the results? We want results. Everything comes to a halt if you don't show the relevant proof. कहीं भी जाएंगे, they want proof. Come on, proof कहाँ है भैया? उसको तो proof है, आपके पास proof है क्या? It would be best to show how you dealt with the sales objections through customer satisfaction surveys. आपने survey किया होगा ना, वो show करती. Research and customer testimonials. You can also add some evidence of feature and also the benefits that can build the trust of the concerned. So proof, very, very important. So the 4 P's: personalization in handling the objections, perceived value in handling the objections, performance value in handling the objections, and finally, proof kahan hai bhaiya, proof. We need to go with that also. So let me sum up these strategies to overcome the sales objections. First, show gratitude like this. We need to show the gratitude. Like how you can show, because objections jo aa gaya hai, to hum kaise gratitude karna hai. I didn't expect you to be not interested, but kya kare? But it's okay if you feel the same way. We cannot do anything. But I understand your concern for not buying the product immediately. At present, you are not willing to buy the product, but you can please give your 2 minutes or 5 minutes of your time to listen about this product. Gratitude show karna hai. Because you need to accept, and then you talk about it, will be fine. Straight away you come to the point, nobody likes it. So gratitude show karna hai. These are the strategies in which you can handle the objections. Secondly, understand your customer. Connect with that connection is very important. Connect with your customer on a personal level and listen to their objections carefully. For example, you can say that you're right, Mr. Arun, I understand your interest. One of our clients, Mr. Rajesh, told the exact same thing. So always, my dears, please understand, speak in you attitude. You are the right. You're right. You're the best. What you said is right. When you start with this, definitely there may be a positive end, or end result will be very positive. You take it. What I said, you take it. So you should answer, that's right. Mr. Arun also said the same thing. I understand your interest, Mr. Arun. One of our clients, Mr. Rajesh, also said the exact same thing. And now he is using our solution to improve their closing rates. That you need to understand. First, you started with you attitude, and then they are using our solution to improve their closing rates. So I understand that your suggestion will help us increase our metrics too. But thank you for sharing your points with us. It's a great way of saying it, right? Understanding the customer. Only when you understand your customer, you will talk like this. Dig deeper into the conversation. Third strategy. I would be happy to email our information to you. I have a product feature ebook that I can email you. But do you mind if I ask you just a couple of quick questions so that I can only send you that part that you would be most interested, because nobody wants to read the 50 pages or 100 pages testimonials. Just where you think that you need more interest, I will send only that part of our product. So I can send you only that part that you might be very much interested in. So you dig deeper into the conversation, swim into it. The fourth strategy is confirm the objections right in front of you. You can say that I have noted down what all you said. You have to start like this, also positive. I have noted down all the points. Mr. Arun, our team will get back to you with all the updates very soon. And thank you so much for making us understand the pain points you had. We will consider this in our new product and services. These are confirm the objections. So explain your unique value proposition. You can say that I'm not forcing you to buy the product immediately. I'm not telling you to just get it immediately. Please give us time also to demonstrate some of the reasons that why thousands of customers are showing interest and using this product. After that, you decide. Not now, not immediately. After that, you can decide if it applies to you or not. You can decide yourself. The ball is in your court. बट अभी तो थोड़ा टाइम दीजिए, हम लोग भी एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं हमारा प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर, वैल्यू प्रपोजिशन के ऊपर. Then offer solutions. Like our app also will help the customer provide products that solve their problems. So for example, from cleaning, mopping, our product does it all. It's very convenient and easy to use. I can refer to any. I'll give my customer's number. You can contact them. And if they say anything wrong about it, then I will accept it. But don't just take our word for it. Sign up for our free trial now and see for yourself. Because you need to satisfy first of all. Share your customer stories, very important. There is past, what are the features? I understand that you like features of that particular company's X and Y product, but we have helped our clients improve their key metrics by 20%. In the past, if you don't mind, I can share our works with you so that you can take the decision as well. You think and take, but we will share our experiences, our customers' experiences video we will like to share with you. So be honest in your approach. So you can say that, Mr. Arun, as per our knowledge, the industry has witnessed major changes. These shifts are the reason why our customers signed up with our application. If you want, I can demonstrate the same with you and provide a customized solution for you. Anything, it's like that I'm offering to you. Give me some time. I will give me some time to demonstrate. I will give the reviews. I will give the videos. We are there to demonstrate. Be proactive in bringing in the objections. Yes, last time we encountered the same question of yours by some other customer. This is a very good sign, We worked over the objections and came with the solutions to automate the whole process, which was earlier done manually. Now we are having the app and we are into the software. So now we can do even more faster. And finally, as all the strategies work with in sales, in objections also, offer an incentive. Not a problem, Mr. Arun, just to share, we are giving a free trial of this product to the first 20 customers. Please take a look and experiment with our product to help you make the right decision. You use the trial and then you decide whether it is good or you like it or not. After that, you decide and confirm and take a good decision. Strategies. So we need to think, the way we think, the way we explore, the way we listen, the way we are convincing them, making them understand, it all depends on the knowledge you have with your company, with your product, with your competitor, with the market. Rest is history. Objection handling pyramid. Emotion, objectives, approaches, tactics. First, when you hear the objection, you will have this. Overcoming the objections, sales objections, it can be very tricky, but it is not impossible. Remember that. It may be very, very, very tricky, but it's not at all impossible. It's not that it is impossible. Just we need to try to understand the customer's behavior. As I told you in the beginning, if you understand the behavior of the customer, it's great. And their perspectives, always address and attack. Acknowledge objections, never dismiss them. Use every objection as an opportunity to share your perspective on the issue. Because once an objection comes, next time when you talk to the other customer, you will know that, okay, as an objection aa sakte hai, how I need to talk. Provide verifiable proof points to support your perspective. That's more important. Always keep these points in mind. Do your diligence by following the objection handling pyramid. Emotion, objectives, approaches, and tactics. This objection handling pyramid, which is right in front of you, this particular framework will curate the killer content for your objection handling battle cards. You think it as a battle. Yes, it's a battle card. It's very easy to handle. And enable your team to close more deals. So remember this: emotion, objectives, approaches, and tactics objection handling pyramid. It will definitely help you in killing these battle cards and enable your team to close more deals. That's what your team needs to effectively handle objections and become a pack of master salespeople, sales superstar. The more you overcome the sales rebootals, as I told you that the more you overcome the sales rebootals, the more experienced and you will be prepared and you will become to meet year to year with more difficult prospects. because you try to work on all those things. So definitely that will change, turning this no into an yes. When they said no, now it is yes. So I want to give it a bottom line for this particular topic. Nutshell, put it in the nutshell. When it comes to using objection handling tactics, don't wait. Start the next second. Start today. Don't think tomorrow we can handle. Tomorrow, we don't know what happens. Another change will come into the customer's mind. Oh, घुसेंगे उसके सर के ऊपर, and then you don't know how to work out with it. So, when it comes to using objection handling tactics, don't wait. Start the next moment, the day itself you start, and you can handle any objections you can face in sales and marketing. And even in personal life also, why it is no. Think, listen, and act accordingly. With that, hope this helps, these information for how to handle the objection in sales. It makes sense and also it helps you. With that note, I sign off for this particular masterclass session. See you all in the next exciting topic in sales. Until then, it's bye-bye from your mentor from Skill Edge. Bye.